Good morning. My name is LaShonda, and I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to the Infrastructure Management Global Community Webcast, Migrating to CA Support Systems. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to withdraw your question, press the pound key. Thank you. I will now turn today's conference over to Ms. Colleen Barker, Program Manager, Customer Care. Please go ahead.
Thank you, LaShonda. Can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Thanks, Anjay. All right, as I said, I'm Colleen Barker. I'm from the Customer Care Organization. This is a part of our larger organization called Global Customer Success. My team is the folks that when you call the 1-800 number, you'll reach for pretty much anything as a gateway into CA technologies. They also are an entry point for a lot of your non-technical needs, like the enrollment processing for support online, as well as your licensing needs. So if you run into bumps along the way here as it relates to this NimSoft migration, these are the folks that you're going to probably speak to. And I would like to introduce Anjay, who also is a part of our Global Customer Success Organization. Anjay?
Thank you, Colleen. Yeah, so Anjay Shah, Customer Success. My focus is really around the, people, customers getting value out of the solutions we've implemented. I've known the NimSoft side of it and the NimSoft support side, hence why I'm sort of helping Colleen present this migration from NimSoft support into the CA Support Online system.
Thanks, Anjay. Okay, so what we're covering today is the migration of the NimSoft support systems into the CA systems. And the NimSoft acquisition was the phased approach. So we're going to go over the timeline of what's been happening since the acquisition up until today. And then also we're talking about what's happened over this past weekend and how that affects you and the future timelines. So I'm going to hand this over to Anjay to start kicking off talking about the timeline.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Colleen. So in 2010, NimSoft, the organization, got acquired by CA Technologies. But since then, we've still maintained or retained our own support system. So, people have been used to working with support.nimsoft.com. Last year, we sort of rebranded the solution, so from NimSoft Monitor to CA Unified Infrastructure Management, and also the other product within the portfolio, NimSoft Service Desk, into CA Cloud Service Management. So that's sort of rebranded, but it's still using the support system, SupportNimsoft.com for cases, which is separate to the CA system supports the other products that they use, other products that we used. So as this sort of phased approach Colleen talked about, what we've started doing was taking some aspects of NimSoft out into the wider CA product set. So first was the community aspect, which was moved from the NimSoft forums to the communities. The next was the ideas section within the NimSoft portal into the CA communities. Both of these aspects starts to give a wider audience and a wider visibility of what's happening in the UIM space, really. And as of the weekend, this weekend, we've now also moved the support into the support system that the rest of the CA products use. So we've migrated the users, the cases, from the NimSoft support into support.ca.com. There are ongoing changes happening, so the knowledge articles will be also moved into support.ca.com. Currently, they're still in the old system, but over this next week, they'll be migrated across. And then at a later date, we're looking to include the download section and announcements into SupportCA.com, and also the closed cases over the last 15 months into the support systems as one place. The documentation has already been migrated to wiki.ca.com for both Unified Infrastructure Management and Cloud Service Management. So there's really no change there. That's continuing to happen as well. Okay. So as of today, you access two portals. One is the support.nimsoft.com, primarily for the product download. So the archive, access to the archive and downloads are still there. So nothing changes there. All that's changed as of the 16th is really the case management aspect. So creating new cases, looking at existing open cases is now managed via support.ca.com. So users will be authorized to open and update support cases from this portal. There will be a link to the CA case to the original NIMSOFT. So there'll be a link from in the CA case to the original NIMSOFT case as well. So you can still view the comments and attachments and emails that were in that case. These will not be migrated to the new cases in supportca.com. The engineers will work with you to put the relevant information in the new cases, but they won't necessarily, the whole history won't be migrated. There'll also be a product page that contains a link to the download, to the NIMSOFT site for downloads, really. Okay. Okay, Colleen, next please. So if you are new to support, so CA support, which quite a few customers or users will be, this is really the what you need to do. So to view closed cases, you still go to the nimsoft.com customer portal. So you can look at sort of related files, attachments, emails, comments, because they're going to stay there, but this will be read-only. You won't be able to update anything in the old cases at all. Okay. The open cases will be moved to supportca.com against your account, but the closed cases won't. New cases and portal and licensing requests can no longer be opened via email to nmsportal.ca.com. And Colleen will talk about this to how to do it in the future, but from now on, you won't be able to email NMS Portal to create any questions around the portal licensing or new cases as well. From say yesterday, how to get access to the cases is really logging on to support.ca.com. So all customers, all users who've sort of logged in recently to the old NIMSOFT portal will have been created or provided access to the supportca.com. What people will have to do is first of all reset your password. So as when you log into the supportca.com, there'll be a forget your password section. You click in there, and then you have to use your email address that was associated with your NIMSOFT user ID. Now, some customers may have a different user ID to the email address, so you have to make sure that what you use is your email address that was used to access the old customer portal, because that's what will be used in the supportca.com environment. This may be different to what you use in your NIMSOFT portal, so just be aware you did this email address, and that's what the Support Online uses there. Okay, so just make sure you've got the right email defined in there. So once you get the password, you'll get an email saying that to reset your password, and once you reset the password, you should have access to your cases. Okay. I think this is that's me. Sorry.
That's all right, Andre.
So onboarding new users to the portal, you have to do, you'll need access to both portals. You'll still need access to the SupportNimsoft.com for downloading the software. If customers don't need to download the software, then they only need to register at CA.com, support.ca.com, with the site ID that you have. So yeah, but if you need download, then you can either call customer care, or once you have a registered support ID, you can then raise a case within there to ask for access to the NIMSOFT support portal for downloads. Okay, so most users will need access to both portals for download and for raising cases. Some may not. Some may just need to be able to just raise cases. So that's the process going forward.
Thanks, Sanjay. So to recap here, so going forward, if you have new users within your organization that need access to both, they're going to have to get 2 separate accounts. And the site ID with regards to support.ca.com, I'm going to go over that a little bit with you and how that plays a role for their registration process. Okay, and I will do that in the demo in 1 sec. I want to recap here that if you do run into any questions or problems that we've gone along through the way with regards to your access to your Support Online account, as Andre said in one of the slides, that your account should have been migrated over. You should be able to go to support.ca.com and click on login, and then click on the link called Forgot Password, and you'll get an email to reset. If somehow something doesn't work, if the system doesn't recognize you, you can give us, our customer care team, a call, and we'll help you find out the site ID that you can register against. And maybe you can ask somebody in your organization in case they may have an account that did get migrated over, and I'll go over that with the demo. Okay, let me start the demo. Okay. All right, so this is the main page to support.ca.com. This is where you're going to be presented to, if you're brand new and you didn't do this, I know we sent out some communications, and on the community site we have a document and FAQs also that you can refer to. But this is where you're going to go and click on login, and I'm not going to go through that for the sake of time. But as we said, that forgot password, you're going to get an email, and you'll be able to reset your password and log in with that email address that's associated to your NIMSOFT portal account. Okay, so I'm logged in right now, and as you can see at the top right-hand corner of my screen, I have a site ID there. I happen to have this user has enrolled with multiple sites associated, and you can see there may be some of you who do have access to multiple sites. The site ID is important from a CA support systems because this is how we identify customer locations, and these are where your support entitlements are based on the contract. So it could be that you have maybe both CSM and UIM, but they may be across 2 different sites. So you may have 2 different sites in your drop-down as it relates to those entitlements. That's important as it relates to opening up cases. Those will show you the products associated to that site. All right, so let's go into what we're really talking about today, and it's case management and how that changes a little bit for you in the CA systems. As you see there, my default site ID at the top is the 105246, and it shows up there. When I have multiple sites, you see it changes accordingly, and that also changes what the products are in the drop-down. So I'm going to go back to this site, 105246. I had a lot of products in that site. So I set up my products, and I lost it. Okay, so you guys, like I said, will see a lot of number of products in your drop-down. You can also do a search in regards to the product just by the name, UIM, or you can do Unified.
Colleen, you used the wrong site ID, that's all. That's why you lost your My Favorite Products.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
that was the one that was there. I don't know why it went away. Yeah, there it is. Thank you. For some reason, it just didn't resync, so now it did. So you could see it's showing my products. I had a lot of products there, and so before the call, I set it up so that you guys seen some of their products that I wanted to concentrate on as it relates to this site, even though I had a lot more. What's going to change for you guys is how you see the products. In the product family, you used to see usually one of 3 products there. You may see a lot more. The key thing to remember from a case management perspective with regards to CSM or UIM, you're going to choose what makes sense to you in your drop-down. And in the case here of CSM, you see a release. This is because our support system doesn't allow the release to be an alpha character. So today there's only one release of CSM, and so it really doesn't make a difference. But I think this was Clover in the old system, but choose that and it'll be fine. The component, you only have one to choose from, so that's not too difficult there. And then you hit go if you want to view any of these cases related to that. So what I'm going to do is go back. I want to just clear that out, and I want to view the cases that came over with the migration. So if you had any old cases or existing open cases in NimSoft and you were the contact related to them, when we migrated this over, you should have also had your contact associated with your cases along with the profile created. So when you do a view cases under your site, it should show up those cases that were opened in NimSoft if they've migrated over against your contact. It could be that they did come over against the site but not your contact, so you have the ability to also look at all associated cases to the site in case maybe it's not showing up, and you can hit go again, and when I do that, takes a couple seconds, there you go. You're going to see a lot of cases that come up. The important thing to note here is that even though the case number in our CA system is different, the title of the case will be exactly the same as it was in the NimSoft system. Now, what you also should observe is if you did have your case come over and you do find it and you open it up, which it's going to do in a second, you're going to have a summary tab. And it's going to show you the original case number here of NimSoft and a link to that original case. So if you're in question whether that is the right case or not, there's to let you know. These are for the migrated cases. And if there's no work that has been done on that case since it's migrated or any activity as it relates to that case, you're not going to see anything in your view and activity. You're just going to see new activity as it's coming over from the new system. One of the other things that I want to cover is file attachments. When you're working with CA, you may need to upload a log file, or CA may need to upload a file to you. We use what we call the file transfer full and thin clients. The full client does give you the ability to transfer the files over HTTP as well as use some other functionality like pause and resume. For this demo, I'm just going to go over to the thin client, and you can see here there's going to be 2 folders, files from CA and files from the customer. Files from CA, you're never going to be able to upload that. It's going to restrict you, so it won't be a difficult thing to know whether or not which file to upload because it's going to tell you you can't upload there. These are where you're going to upload your files to CA, and you're going to do that very simply by pulling your file, like it's pretty, what I want to call self-explanatory. The key thing here is when you're uploading it, you're going to highlight the folder that you want to upload to and click on Upload, and it will do that, and now that file should show up, and you can see it's there. All right, so we went over viewing the cases. Now let's talk about opening cases. And I'm going to go right here to open a case. So I talked about this a little bit. The products for you have changed as far as your drop-down. So you do the best you can, and you open up according to the product that's in your drop-down. Your releases show up here. Unified Infrastructure Management, Service Packs, there's nothing in your drop-down. And then you can see you have pretty much the same operating systems that you had in your existing systems. Choose one of those. And the severity, I'm fairly certain in the NIMSOFT system you had the ability to choose only from priorities 2 through 4. And it's the same here in the CA system. If you have a Sev 1, it's important for us to get you taken care of immediately, so we ask that you call in so we can get you with an engineer immediately. Same thing with the case title, same thing with the description. The difference here is that you guys have the ability to add a business impact to your cases now. So although it may not be a production down, it may be a very high severity too because it's impacting your users within your environment. This is a very important thing to put in if it does have a high impact, but it's not production down. And as you can see here, it auto-populates with your current information. Once you submit that, it's going to get routed to the right engineers to help you out. Now I want to talk about one other thing in regards to opening up cases, and that's the non-technical cases. So once you have your access to our support systems, this also gives you that gateway from a online perspective to interact with our customer care folks. And that you'll see in your drop-down is 2 products, and everyone gets that. It's licensing and support online. So you can still open up your licensing cases through our system here, as well as support online. We have a couple different options for support online, and that is asking for some general assistance. So after we're done with the call today, for instance, that you've logged in, you've done your forgot password, and you don't see the products that you expect to see, or you don't see anything, this is where you can use this system right here if you have access to open up a case, and it'll get routed to our customer care teams to help you out. And as we move forward in migration, we also have the downloads, and that's where the ESD comes in, the electronic software delivery. That probably you won't use all that much. Okay, so the last thing, a couple things I want to talk about, and then we can open it up for questions, is let's say that you do have access to a site, but it's not the entitlements that you expect, or you're not getting everything that you expect, or a location. For instance, we have locations across the globe because, as I said at the beginning, the site IDs are aligned to a location. So this location that you see here, 105246, may be a North America location, and you need to make sure that your cases open up against one of your sites in APJ or EMEA, and you don't see that in your drop-down. This is where you use our additional site access. Now, this requires you to understand what that site ID is, so you need to know what site ID you need access to. If you don't sure about the site ID and you know your business partner ID, you can also supply that. Your sales team or your customer success folks can always help you with that if you don't know it. And then, of course, once again, our customer care folks. Now, I want to talk about the last thing is registration. So a lot of the NIMSOFT folks are used to sending in an email and asking for access to the system, and we configure you and you get your portal access for the NIMSOFT systems. Today we don't do that in our support systems. We have a registration process, so we have no way of adding users to a site manually. It requires all users who need access to go through a registration process, and we have business rules around supporting that to enable that access. But this, again, is the main page that you're going to want to direct all your new users to. So if it's the site ID in your profile that you want them to have access to, you provide that to them. They're going to fill out this form and provide that enterprise site ID right here. And any supporting information they can fill out in the comments, and it'll get routed to our customer care teams to process. So I think that covers everything that I wanted to go over in regards to the new case management functionality and registration going forward. LaShonda, I'm going to hand it over to you or to open it up for questions.
To ask a question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. We'll pause for just a moment to compile the Q&A roster. There are no questions at this time.
Okay. Are there any questions coming in online? Anjay, did you know?
There was only one question, but basically the key thing is for registering for both portals. For existing customers, you don't need to get registered for accessing the NIMSOFT portal for downloads. That's already continues as before. So that registration process is only for new customers coming forward. So just for clarification there.
Okay.
And I do see some questions coming into the Q&A box. We have a question from Devin. Is there a way to migrate cases to a new site ID?
Is there a way to migrate cases to a new site ID? What is this from the NIMSOFT systems? And I guess this is an online question.
I think there is a possibility to move the cases from a current site ID to a new site ID. Yes, it's possible to do that. I think you just need to be able to define what the new site ID is and make sure it actually belongs to the same organization, and it can be done.
Okay, great. And we had one more coming in from Olivier. Is the file download area dedicated to current case?
Yes, yes. It's the current open case that's on CA, so any of your files that may have been over on the NIMSOFT side will remain there, but you will have access to them.
And Colleen, just if you can answer, what if the forget password just doesn't work?
If it doesn't work and it says we don't recognize you, then and you know your site ID, then please perform a new registration against that site ID, or once again contact our customer care and they'll help you if you don't know your site ID.
Okay, great, thank you. LaShonda, let's just take one more poll from the audience for questions.
And as a reminder, to ask an audio question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. And there are no audio questions at this time.
Okay, great. I do see one more that actually just came in. If you had an ID on both NIMSOFT and CA and they were both the same email address and password, do I still have to reset password on ca.support.com?
No, you should not have to reset password. You should be able to log into your CA account that you currently do, and you should see you have an enterprise access if you didn't have it before. If that doesn't work, then I would do a reset password, but you should not have to.
Okay, thank you. So I think that's it for the questions. Hi, everyone. This is Melissa Potvin, your community manager. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to join the call here today. Thank you to Colleen. Thank you to Anjay for giving the presentation to the community. As usual, we will post the recording up to the community so that you can listen to the playback or share it with colleagues. And if you feel like you have additional questions, you can always reach out to me directly through the community or at melissa.potvin, P-O-T-V-I-N, @ca.com. SupportNimsoftcom. We'll get any questions that you have routed to the team here. Our goal is to make sure that we get you up and running as quickly as possible. So without further ado, I think we can call it a wrap for today. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. Take care now, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
This concludes today's conference call. You may now disconnect.